My husband is dead. Before drawing his last breath, he said he left 2 hidden guards for me. I was utterly bewildered. I am just a simple village woman. And he was nothing more than a street vendor selling sweet cakes in the next village. What on earth is a hidden guard anyway? It was not until I could read the subtitles appearing before my eyes that I realized my husband was actually a demoted grand preceptor. Now that the crown prince has made a comeback, he is heading back to the capital to marry the princess. He could not shake me off, so he chose to fake his death. The male lead is too soft-hearted. He should have just killed this village woman now, to avoid any future trouble. This peasant ex-wife will find out the truth later. She goes to the capital to find him, and causes trouble every single day. The grand princess gets so angry she demands a divorce. The male lead has to go through so much effort to coax his wife back. No matter. Thinking about how this original wife eventually got her tongue cut out for talking nonsense in the capital. I am not even that angry anymore. I will just keep my mouth shut. I will stop going to his grave to cry every day. I will just stay home and mind my own business. As soon as the Lantern Festival arrived, I took the 2 hidden guards with me to burn spirit money for him. They are very obedient. Having 2 men to warm the bed together is definitely better than being alone. Husband, you can rest in peace in the underworld now. Rest assured, I will never set foot in the capital. But 2 months later, immediately after my departure, my husband, who had been dead for 3 months, pushed open my wicker gate. When my husband first passed away, the neighbor's auntie looked at me with pity and said, "Xiaohe, you must look forward in all things. Your husband is gone. But life must go on." I did not say a word. I just frowned, looking at the letter in my hand. Slowly, I raised my head. "Auntie. About my husband. Do you think he has become an immortal?" She probably thought I would gone mad from the shock. She shook her head and walked away. I gripped the letter tightly. I read it over and over again. I found this by the pigpen this morning. Written clearly on it were a few lines. "I have departed. 10 miles to the east, I have deposited 300 silver taels for you at the bank. I also specifically left you 2 personal hidden guards. Stay safe." It was my husband's handwriting. I reached out to touch it. The ink was not even dry yet. It was clearly written not long ago. But my husband died half a month ago. He was crushed into a pulp. His bones were completely shattered. If I had not seen the cured meat that I preserved myself still hanging from his waist, I would not have even recognized him. I just thought it was someone's sick prank. After all, many people in this village have always disliked me. I went to the window to cut 2 more pieces of cured meat. Just as I was about to go cry at my husband's grave again, dense rows of text suddenly appeared before my eyes. Is this the male lead's original wife? She is really not presentable at all. Her face is a bit rustic, though she looks decent enough. Wait, her face is rustic but somewhat pretty. But she is nothing compared to the Grand Princess. If I were Zhou Bo-chen, I would choose the Grand Princess too. This cannon fodder still does not know her husband faked his death, right? Stupidly going to visit the male lead's grave. The subtitles scrolled by rapidly. I frowned and squinted at them word by word. I was originally illiterate. My family was poor, and my parents died early. I grew up in this village, raised by the kindness of every neighbor. But a year ago, Auntie Wang from the village entrance arranged a marriage for me. He was a young man from a nearby village who sold sweet cakes. That young man was so fair-skinned and handsome. I was almost mesmerized by his looks back then. He was just a bit sickly. Later, we became husband and wife. One time, I saw him holding a small twig, writing and drawing in the mud. So, I happily leaned in to take a look. But in the next instant, I was pushed away. I had never seen Zhou Bo-chen look so flustered before. He quickly stomped out the marks with his feet. Only then did he look up at me, seeing my wrist scratched by the gravel. A flash of guilt crossed his eyes. Then he pulled me up. "You leaned in so suddenly. You gave me a fright." As he gave that dry explanation, I kept staring at the marks in the mud. "You are literate." He froze instantly. I really did not expect it. To think my sickly husband was actually a rare treasure. He looked at my bleeding palm. After a long silence, he got up to get a wet cloth to wipe it for me. That was the first time Zhou Bo-chen spoke to me so softly. "If you want to learn, I will teach you." I feel like I must have been a terrible student. Otherwise, why can I see these subtitles clearly? Yet I can't understand them. Zhou Bo-chen taught me every single word. I recognize them all. But once they are put together, it makes no sense to me. What is with all this talk of female lead, male lead, fake death, and real death? I need to visit the grave of my poor, departed husband. To burn some ritual paper for him. The bullet comments keep refreshing incessantly. It is totally normal for the supporting female character to turn evil. Zhou Bochen hid in Luonan, pretending to be a sweet cake seller. I can understand that part. But why did he have to go and marry her? A woman's reputation is everything in these times. As mentioned before, didn't he leave behind 2 guards and 300 taels of silver? A full 300 taels. A village woman working the fields her whole life could not save that much. Exactly. Besides, the male lead was never in the same league as her anyway. If he actually brought her to the capital, the whole court would mock him. Imagine the Grand Preceptor not finding a wife of equal status, but picking a simple village girl instead. I stopped in my tracks. I turned around. I am not going to the grave. I am going to the bank to check things out. I need to see if those floating words are actually true. The bank manager was exceptionally attentive when he saw me. It was as if someone had already given him secret instructions. He happily led me to the back vault. He stuffed a heavy ingot of white silver into my hand. And my heart turned completely cold. I asked him to keep the rest for me. I only took 10 taels and tucked them into my pocket. At night, I lay flat on the bed. But I could not fall asleep at all. The silver was tucked right under my pillow. I reached out to touch the quilt beside me. It was empty. Cold to the touch. I am naturally sensitive to the cold. Even though Zhou Bochen was sickly, he was still a man. Full of masculine warmth. I used to always make him get into bed first to warm it for me. He was never very willing. But he would always obediently do it anyway. I sighed. I curled my body up tighter, attempting to sleep. Suddenly, there was a noise outside the window. I snapped my head around. In the moonlight, a man was standing by my window. I broke out in a cold sweat. Who are you? Bullet chat, the comments are flooding in so fast. Bullet chat, the comments are flooding in so fast. Bullet chat comments are flying. Bullet chat comments are flying, look. Bullet chat, a thug is breaking into the widow's room at midnight. Bullet chat, a scoundrel is in the widow's room in the middle of the night. Bullet chat, where are the bodyguards? Save her. Bullet chat, save her. In my panic, I fumbled in the dark for the self-defense stick by my side. But then, I heard a miserable scream. When I finally took a closer look, that bloated body had already collapsed on the floor. Standing beside him with his back to me was a man. He was dressed in black night gear. Silently, he hauled up the rogue from the floor, preparing to leave. Bullet chat, the screen is exploding, the chat is going wild. Bullet chat, the male lead is definitely playing the long game. Bullet chat, leaving his 2 best guards for the supporting female lead. Truly. Bullet chat, leaving his 2 most powerful guards for her. Bullet chat, he left the top tier guards for the female lead. Bullet chat, leaving the 2 best guards for her. Wow. Bullet chat, it is a pity the female lead is too greedy. Bullet chat, what a shame she is so greedy. Bullet chat, the guard's physique is making me drool. Thirst trap. Bullet chat, I am literally drooling over this guard's body. Bullet chat, the side character is so dense. Bullet chat, a buy one get one free deal, plus she paid 300 taels extra. Bullet chat, how sweet, a buy one get 2 deal plus a 300 tael bonus. Bullet chat, if the 3 of them lived together. Bullet chat, if those 3 teamed up for 100 taels. Bullet chat, you have no idea how beautiful life would be. Bullet chat, he is so kind, she does not know how good she has it. Bullet chat, life would be pure bliss. My heart jolted. I could not help but call out to him. Don't go. The room fell dead silent for 2 seconds. The man looked up toward the roof and gave an order. Come down and protect her. Then, he vanished with that scoundrel. A moment later, I was staring wide-eyed at another man dressed in black. The atmosphere became stagnant. Bullet chat, the viewers are dying of laughter. Bullet chat, his big brother really just summoned him down like that. Bullet chat, this younger guard brother is so obedient. Bullet chat, even with his face covered. Bullet chat lucked out, even with the mask. Bullet chat, I can tell this guy is incredibly handsome. A total 10 per 10. Bullet chat, masked hottie is YYDS. Bullet chat, masked hottie is the goat. Bullet chat, beyond gorgeous, masked hottie is YYDS. I could not understand many of the words in the bullet chat. But staring at the man's firm waist and broad back, I swallowed hard. My husband said I should seek both of you if anything happens, right? Then, can you help me warm the bed? I pointed toward my bedding. I felt a bit embarrassed. No. I am cold, you clearly said anything would be fine. With a face full of shame and indignation, he tried to pull his leg away. I only promised him that I would protect you. I am not for sale. The guard who had just left returned and walked right into us struggling by the bed. Upon learning of my request, he also fell silent. Then, under our stunned gazes, he marched toward that old wooden bed. The voice of the guard I was holding on to instantly jumped 3 octaves. Big brother. The man did not hesitate. He kicked off his shoes and prepared to lie down. I leaned in to pull at him. You have to take off your outer coat, it is dirty. You. Widow, do not go too far, even through his face mask. I noticed the man on the bed was turning red all the way to his ears. And then, he actually obeyed and took off his outer coat. The comment section is blowing up. OMG, he is totally living up to the bodyguard vibe. So cute. OMG, he is totally living up to the bodyguard vibe. He is so cute. Gosh, he really is a top-tier guard. Those broad shoulders and that snatched waist make me blush so hard. I actually think his physique is way better than the male leads. Such a weakling. The male lead is sickly all the time. The male lead is always acting so frail. Well, he is supposed to be a refined gentleman. You do not get it. If these guards were not built like tanks, they would be dead by now. The man beside me was as stiff and tense as a wooden post. Yet he was burning up. He is even warmer than my husband. I pressed my ice-cold hands and feet against his body. The man's breathing grew heavy. A few minutes later, I closed my eyes in satisfaction. That man. The guard standing by the bed, I wonder how long he had been staring. He stormed off in a huff. When I woke up the next day, I found myself nestled in the man's arms. Honestly, you can't blame me for this. I used to curl up in my husband's arms just like this. I have already started treating him like my husband. It seemed he had been awake for quite a while. But he did not move an inch. He was just staring blankly straight ahead. Realizing I was awake, he pulled back slightly. Then silently put on his black outer robe. Got up and left. Sleeping soundly at night makes me energetic during the day. So, I went and plowed 2 acres of land without breaking a sweat. As the sky grew dark, I shouted toward the roof again. Hurry up and come down to warm the bed for me. It was the same man from last night. He silently stripped off his clothes and climbed into bed. I felt very content. It was him for several days in a row. The bullet comments also noticed something was off. This female lead is seriously shameless. The guy is not even into it. Is she blind or something? The younger brother's temper is too stubborn. She is just picking on the older brother because he is a pushover. Is everyone watching this closely? But what I am curious about is, I am shocked. This girl is really just sleeping. How can she resist? With a body like that, those abs and pecs are clearly solid. If she does not make a move, she is really missing out. My eyelid twitched. Who would have thought? Those words actually gave me some inspiration. I reached out and quite boldly felt the man's abdomen. His eyes instantly widened. And he took a sharp, cold breath. He reached out and grabbed my wrist tightly. Suddenly, I could not move. Fortunately, I still had my other hand. So, I doubled down. And pressed that hand on him too. His younger brother jumped straight into the room. Brother. Even through the curtain, I could tell the man's face was burning hot. He tried to feign composure, answering in a raspy voice. It is nothing. I just bumped my leg. Are you taking advantage of my brother? Why are you leaning so close to him? Get away from him right now. You bad woman. I looked up. How about you come and warm the bed for me instead? He shut his mouth instantly. From above came his older brother's deep, husky voice. It is fine. You should go. The bullet comments are all wheezing with laughter. Acting all prim and proper online. But in reality, who would not want to find a top-tier hunk with a perfect body and face? To warm their bed. To warm their bed. The older brother is so well behaved. It makes me want to tease him even more. Honestly, if a hunk like this were lying in my bed, I definitely would not stop at just 2 touches. I would touch him at least a few more times. The commenter above, slow down, you are breaking the speed limit. Falling asleep peacefully in his arms. But the heartbeat of the person beside me grew louder and louder. I could not help myself. I reached out and gently tapped his chest. Stop beating so fast, it is too noisy. In the following days, I slept soundly every night. Though occasionally, I felt like there were rats on the roof beams, always making those creaking and groaning noises. I complained that the bed was too small. It forced Ling Sheng to sleep on his side every time he warmed the bed. Ling Sheng is the hidden guard who came to warm my bed. He once mentioned his younger brother's name as Lin Muyi. I took out 3 taels of silver. wanting the village carpenter to make a new, larger bed. Who knew he would ask for 5 taels? I am used to living a frugal life. 5 taels of silver is really not a small amount. There is plenty of timber on the back mountain. Why can't I just go cut some myself? Humph, there is indeed plenty of timber back there. But as a mere woman, how many logs could you possibly haul back? Pondering for a moment, my eyes lit up. I certainly do not have the strength. But I have helpers. And I have 2 of them. Lin Muyi stomped his feet in frustration. Xiao He, you are crossing the line. These hands of mine are meant for holding blades. I am an assassin. Don't you understand? You are telling me to go be a lumberjack. It is just 5 taels of silver. I will pay it, all right, I will pay. Netizens joke, he is such a sucker, paying to build a bed for someone else to sleep in. Paying for a bed for another man to sleep in. Dear brother, you are really something else. I shook my head. Jobo Chin said you 2 are under my charge now. Since you are my people. Then is not your money basically my money? I pocketed the 5 taels of silver he just pulled out. Lin Muye's ears, poking out from his hair, turned bright red. You crazy woman. You. What are you talking about? What kind of nonsense is this? Who is your person? The tips of Lin Musheng's ears also flushed red. He reached into his pocket and stuffed a handful of silver coins into my hand. I am going to cut the timber now. Lin Muyi was dumbfounded. He asked with a face full of shock. Brother, have you lost your mind? Immediately after, he let out a low gasp. He turned his face to stare at me. I calmly took all the silver from his pockets, leaving him completely penniless. I even gave him a couple of playful squeezes while I was at it. In this poor village. Who exactly are you going to assassinate? Go get to work. Lin Muyi shielded his chest, stumbling back several steps. You. Do you usually flirt with my big brother like this too? You shameless village woman. He was utterly mortified. Netizens are dying of laughter. He is like a bristling wolf pup. The fun part is the squeezing, right? The key point is the money, obviously. All your silver is gone now. Little bro, you even care if people touch you or not. Bullet chat, the netizens are absolutely right. Bullet chat, these 2 brothers are so reliable. In just half a day, they transported the timber to the master craftsman. The old master glanced at the 2 dusty, brawny men and asked curiously, Xiao He, who are these 2 gentlemen to you? They are both my husbands. Before the old man could speak, Mu Yi, standing behind, let out an ear-splitting cough. I had just become a widow. Yet I already found 2 strong laborers to serve me. This gossip spread across the entire village in just half a day. I did not let it bother me at all. Before resting for the night, I took the sachet out of my pocket and tucked it into Mu Shang's arms. He froze for a moment, then gripped it tightly and hid it in his clothes. Beside him, Mu Yi was staring at me intensely. I spread my hands wide. Your big brother took it of his own accord. I did not force him to accept it. Mu Ye's face darkened. I also chopped wood all day long. Leaving those words behind, he leaped up and vanished onto the roof. That night, before sleeping, I looked up at the shadow on the roof. Mu Yi, are you going to stay perched on that beam all night without moving? He did not respond. Mu Sheng tucked the blanket in for me. Mu Yi, my roof has been in disrepair for years. You might end up rolling down in the middle of the night. This bed is newly made. It is very wide. Why do not you come down and squeeze in with us? I continued to persuade him. Mu Ye's icy words drifted down from above. Shut it. I let out a sigh. Speaking the honest truth. If you do not want to rest on the bed, can you at least hide somewhere further away? With you climbing onto the roof to eavesdrop every night, it is inconvenient for me to be intimate with my husband. In an instant, Mu Yi flashed before the bed. Xiao He, don't you dare try to take advantage of my brother. I tilted my head and suddenly planted a kiss right on Mu Sheng's black mask. Mu Yi was driven mad with rage. He raised his hand and grabbed my arm. Get up right now. Xiao He, you frivolous woman. Let go. Mu Ye's beautiful eyes were wide with shock. Brother. Mu Yi fled the room. I crawled back up, looking at him with a bit of worry, as he rushed out the door. My door was actually smashed by him. Will there be any trouble? Bullet chat, he alone could take on your entire village. Bullet chat, he could slaughter the whole village alone. What shame would he fear? Bullet chat, what kind of accident or embarrassment could happen to him? Bullet chat, I will shut up now, no more spoilers. I remained silent and lay down peacefully. The man beside me was stiff as a board. I closed my eyes and began to drift off. But the person beside me was tossing and turning. Do you have fleas or something? The blanket is letting in a draft. The room fell dead silent. Bullet chat netizens, it is all leaking air now. Bullet chat, surely this female lead has not forgotten the bold words she just said. Bullet chat, our boy in black finally got worked up and ready to go. Bullet chat, the arrow was on the string. Bullet chat, and yet she just wants to sleep. Bullet chat, even the bells on the inner garments were ready to be stripped off. The blockhead beside me is actually asleep. I turn my head and see him staring blankly, looking like he is asking for a scolding. These subtitles are actually telling the truth. My fingers lightly brush against him. I feel the man's body stiffen once again. My heart starts racing along with it. I am not some innocent little girl anymore. I am a widow whose husband has passed. I know a thing or two about these matters. But I have always thought such things should be mutual. But through that pitch-black mask, I really can't tell if he is willing or not. So, after a moment of silence, my hand, which was resting on his stomach for warmth, slowly slides down. His eyebrows twitch slightly. But he does not stop me. As I reach further down, he still does not move. I simply reach out and grab it. The man lets out a low groan. After a world-turning tumble, the hunter becomes the prey. It seemed Lin Muyi returned to the room late at night. But my mind was in a daze. I must have cried out too loudly. Because he left again in a huff. When I open my eyes at dawn, Lin Muyi is heating up water for me to wash my face. I rub my aching lower back and try to strike up a conversation. When did you run back here? The young lad ignores me. He tosses the towel soaked in boiling water into the basin. The netizens are laughing out loud. Our brooding shadow guard finally broke his vow, and he is ruthless. The female lead literally fainted on the spot last night. He completely forgot that the hot water was prepared by his younger brother. I really want to ask. Young man, do you happen to know a miracle doctor? I feel a wave of embarrassment. So he really did come back last night. After much effort, by dinner time, Lin Muye's temper cooled down a bit. But when he saw me and his brother sharing a bed, he got angry and stormed off again. For several days in a row, Lin Muyi completely ignored everyone. Even through that black mask, I could tell how sour his face was. But I did not let it bother me. Because his brother and I were thick as thieves. Lin Musheng was already considerate to begin with. And now he indulges me in every possible way. I caught a runaway hen for the old drunkard at the east end of the village. Good girl, this is great for vitality. Take it back. Give your frail man a few sips of the broth. And try to give me a chubby grandson soon. I originally wanted to decline. But then I remembered there really is a man in the house. So I took the wine and headed home. Lin Muyi dodged me in disgust. The smell was beyond unbearable to him. Lin Musheng thought for a moment. He only said softly, just set it aside. I will drink it in a while. I let out a sigh. Feeling a bit disappointed. Even though we are husband and wife in fact. He still guards himself and won't show his true face. These two brothers handle all 3 meals themselves. They never sit at the table with me. The silver moonlight fills the courtyard like spilled wine. I look up at the bright moon in the night sky. And a sudden bitterness stings my heart. The Lantern Festival is approaching. Zhou Bo Chen and I consummated our marriage at this time last year. Back then, though he was frail and indifferent, and did not like being affectionate with me, at least he was willing to sit down and share a meal. In contrast, although there are 2 grown men in the house now, there is not even a hint of domestic warmth. Perhaps the moonlight is too cold tonight. I could not hold back. I picked up the wine cup and swallowed it down, sip by sip. Lin Musheng's brows furrowed tightly. He instinctively took a step forward. He tried to grab me but was blocked by someone. I have never been much of a drinker. After just 2 cups, my head was spinning. Someone quietly knelt down beside me. His tone was gentle. Xiao He. You are drunk. Shall we go back to the room and rest? A wave of grievances almost overwhelmed me. Fueled by the alcohol, I began to talk nonsense. Then tonight, I want to be on top and ride you like a big horse. Under the hazy cold moonlight, a certain someone's ears turned completely red. Fine. Anything to make you stop being angry. Before he could even finish speaking, he was violently yanked away. Lin Muyi seemed to have reached his limit. He burst out shouting. Lin Musheng, are you getting too deep into this role? Have you forgotten why we are here? We went through hell to find Zhou Bo Chen's Achilles heel. We were just waiting for him to show up so we could take him down. And here you are, playing house. My private matters are none of your business. If I am an eyesore, go handle the mission yourself. You have been completely bewitched by this vixen. What is so great about her anyway? You have gone mad. He was way too noisy. I pushed myself up from the table. I stumbled and shuffled my way over. Before the bickering pair could react, I dove headfirst into Lin Muye's arms. The surroundings fell dead silent. Lin Muye was like a stray cat with its fur standing on end. He raised his hand, intending to shove me away. Xiao He, you shameless vixen. These tricks might hook my brother. But I am not buying it. I have seen it all in the brothels, you know. I am a man of the world. So annoying. My ears were buzzing. The black mask before my eyes began to blur and double. I reached out and ripped his mask off. A sharp gasp echoed through the air. My eyes widened in shock. The screen exploded with a flurry of comments. OMG, we finally see his face. I am melting, but look at that fire in his eyes. Is he really just a guard, pure perfection? My heart is melting. How can someone be this dangerously handsome? His face is YYDS, I am melting like ice cream. Seriously, his visual is melting me. Send help. Absolute top-tier beauty. I am obsessed with this vibe. The Tsundere Prince energy, I am a simp now. Look at that face, he is literally a masterpiece. This is a visual attack, who is the male lead again? His visuals totally slay the main lead. Is he the second lead or what? That god-tier face. I am losing it. Look at those features. He is the male lead in my heart. No doubt about it. Totally obsessed. My heart has already made its choice. He is definitely the one for me. Lin Muye hurriedly raised his hands to cover his face. His eyes were wide with panic. I was also jolted awake by his sheer beauty. Xiao He. You have lost your mind. But then, looking at his moist lips parting and closing, my liquid courage took over again. Using the alcohol as an excuse, I leaned in and kissed him. For someone with such a foul temper, how could his lips be so soft? Lin Muye froze completely. He was breathing heavily. His eyelashes were trembling wildly. As if his legs had gone weak, he tried desperately to shrink back. I only found his mouth incredibly sweet, and naturally chased after it. Asterisk thud, asterisk. His waist hit the edge of the table. Wine jar falls. Shatters into pieces. Xiao He, why did you kiss me? Are you really not afraid that I will kill you? My already dizzy head felt even more lightheaded from the kiss. I froze for 2 seconds before firing back at him. You are my husband. Why can't I kiss you? An unexpected answer. Muye fell silent. I giggled foolishly. And so, every bit of my remaining shyness completely vanished. I was already in Mu Sheng's arms. I turned my head to look at him. I reached out and poked his black mask. I want to see yours too. Bullet chat, OMG, he is so handsome when he gently raises his hand. He gently raised his hand. Slowly taking off his face cloth. Slowly taking off his face cloth. Bullet chat, the comments are going crazy again. Bullet chat, knowing there are 2 such stunners in this room, I am too stunned to even eat my popcorn. The male lead is such a snack. Bullet chat, the male lead is so handsome. Bullet chat, he is drop dead gorgeous. Bullet chat, my jaw is on the floor. Why hide that face all day? Bullet chat, I am losing it. Why cover such a masterpiece? Bullet chat, is there a hidden reason for this visual attack? Bullet chat, thinking about these characters. Bullet chat, 2 hotties in the villainess's room, lucky girl. Bullet chat, I have forgotten how to breathe. I was dazed. I could not help but gulp. Immediately after, I was violently pulled away. I looked up and saw Muye glaring at me intensely. You fickle woman. Were you just trying to kiss my brother? I felt a bit embarrassed. Was I that obvious? You just kissed me. And now you want to kiss my brother. This is basically an indirect kiss between me and him, no way. Bullet chat, the comments section has gone silent from the shock. Bullet chat, what is this dummy blabbering about? Bullet chat, his brother is the real deal here. Bullet chat, such a total tsundere. Bullet chat, I definitely have a soft spot for the gentle ones. Husband, my head hurts from his noise. Then what should we do? If I let him into the room to help tonight, I am afraid I won't be able to control myself. Muye's teeth were grinding audibly. Yet his cheeks grew increasingly red. Anyway, since you already agreed today, you are mine. Isn't it just warming the bed? I can do that too. Bullet chat, screen full of question marks. Bullet chat, man, He took the long way around just to say he wants to hop in bed. Bullet chat. The older brother's face is turning green with envy lol. Lin Musheng raised his head. His gaze was dark and deep. Brother, Xiao he said. Brother, Xiao he said, it is your turn for the night watch. My head felt incredibly heavy. I could not hear clearly what they were whispering at all. I only remember that in the middle of the night, I cried and scratched the back of the man on top of me, leaving several bloody marks. But he refused to stop no matter what. When I woke up the next day, I nearly rolled off the bed. Where did this wild man come from, sleeping in my bed? Before I could turn over and fall, I was suddenly pulled into a firm embrace, pressed against a man's hard chest muscles. I could not help but gulp again. It is still early, keep sleeping. His voice was hoarse. He did not even lift his eyelids. He buried his messy head into the crook of my neck. My body tensed up. Why does this feel so familiar? Bullet chat. The viewers are dying of laughter. You did not even remember your own husband's face. But you should at least recognize his build and voice. Look at those abs, those pecs, and those biceps. Setting aside those two personal guards of yours, could you even find a second man like him in the whole village? So Lin Muyi just totally surrendered to Xiaohe last night. Before last night, he was still planning to kill her. She is really working him to death, haha. The comments above are right. I gasped sharply as the realization hit me. I threw off the silk quilt and sat up abruptly. I stared at the handsome face of the man before me. Staring at him, I nearly bit my tongue off to keep from screaming. Staring at him, I wondered how he ended up in my bed. And he even dared to show his face so openly. Lin Muyi raised his gaze to look at me, sensing my expression. His handsome face instantly clouded over with a frown. Xiaohe, what are you making such a fuss about so early in the morning? You are not planning to back out of your responsibilities, are you? I was completely dumbstruck. But Lin Muye's expression only grew more sullen. You got your revenge last night. You even treated me as your husband. So what is with this reaction now? Are you regretting it? Seeing him about to lose his temper again, I hurriedly waved my hands in protest. My face was so red I felt like I was bleeding. Stop, I get it, okay? Lin Muyi fell silent. He just watched me with a slightly aggrieved look. What do you mean by that? When my brother slept with you, you were not this fierce at all. Him. Begging to see me. But why are you acting like this now? Did you already forget how much fun you had last night? Look at these scratch marks you left on me last night, and here too. The comments are flooding in, it is too much to watch. Why is he acting so soft now? He is totally obsessed with her. Lin Muyi has officially ended the competition. I finally snapped out of it. But looking at the other divine-looking man bringing in water, I felt like I was losing my breath again. During these last few days, my bed felt warm and cozy every single day. 2 men, 1 on each side, keeping me warm. It was purely just keeping me warm. Nothing else happened. All because Lin Muyi was too wild that first day. He actually bruised my waist. Life was blissfully happy. Until my neighbor auntie came to talk to me. She said she thought she saw my husband. Xiaohe, remember how I told you your husband might still be alive? You did not believe me then, but now I am starting to think it is true. The woman recalled the scene. Early this morning, before you were even up, there seemed to be a man standing outside your door. I poked my head out to look. And it gave me quite a fright. It was definitely your man, no doubt about it. My heart skipped a beat. I thought I had seen a ghost. I was so scared I wanted to turn and run. But when I looked back again, the person had vanished into thin air. I thought about it carefully. Perhaps he is ascended to become an immortal. Because how could a ghost appear in broad daylight? Besides, the clothes he was wearing, oh my. It was all pure silk. The texture was so smooth. Totally unlike the coarse linen we wear. He must have definitely become an immortal. I really could not listen to any more of this. Because the comments on the screen were already scrolling at light speed. Why did the male lead run back so early this morning? The journey from the capital to this place. He probably rushed over in the middle of last night. But seeing the gates tightly shut, he withdrew again. Bullet screen, he is definitely here to stalk the supporting actress. Do you have any plans to head to the capital recently? Bullet screen, the male lead is actually quite paranoid. Bullet screen, he is terrified she will cause trouble. Bullet screen, he even hired someone to stake out the grave where he faked his death. Bullet screen, but the supporting actress has not gone there lately. Bullet screen, he mistakenly thinks she went to the capital. Bullet screen, so he came specifically to investigate. Bullet screen, let me do the math. Bullet screen, it is almost time for the male lead to marry the grand princess, right? Bullet screen, I recall it is during this exact period. Bullet screen, the supporting actress took her money and went to the capital. Bullet screen, she ran to find the male lead to demand an explanation. Bullet screen, her life is actually going pretty well right now. Bullet screen, why on earth does she insist on finding the male lead in the capital? Bullet screen, in the end, her loose lips enraged the grand princess. Bullet screen, and her tongue was ripped out alive. My eyes widened in shock. I instinctively covered my mouth. Cutting out a tongue. How painful would that be? I returned home with a heavy heart, tossing and turning all night. I decided to take some spirit money to Zhou Bo Chen's grave. I must make things clear. I can't let my tongue be cut out for no reason. Bullet screen, taking your new husbands to visit your dead man's grave. Bullet screen, Xiao He, you are really something else. Bullet screen, don't waste your spirit money. Bullet screen, it is hard to say if that man will even receive it. Bullet screen, like he really needs your chump change. Bullet screen, the netizens are dying of laughter. LOL. Bullet screen, ever since Mu Yi successfully leveled up to husband. Bullet screen. He sounds so salty whenever he speaks. Why do not you just stay home? Just stay inside the house. Xiao He. Mu Shang chuckled and knelt down. He rolled up my pant legs for me. He can't take a joke. Why do you tease him all day long? The dew is heavy in the fields. How about I carry you over there? Thinking it over, I handed the spirit money to Mu Yi and climbed onto Mu Shang's back. Mu Yi was so annoyed he was practically hopping mad. It had been a long time since my last visit. The low burial mound was covered in scattered weeds. The salted cured pork I brought last time had long been washed by the dew and light rain. It had turned a pale, bloated white. I sighed and slid down from Mu Shang's back. Oh, my dear husband, I have come to visit you. I am only here today to tell you one thing. I won't be coming back anymore. Those two subordinates you left for me are very obedient. They do not mind that I am plain or salty like that meat. Nor are they unwilling to keep me warm. In fact, they fight over who gets to warm my bed. I am not going to the capital. From now on, I will live a peaceful life with my two husbands. And I won't come to see you again. Bullet screen, the screen is full of sighs. Bullet screen, I almost feel sorry for him. Bullet screen, the male lead is such a scumbag. Bullet screen, you could have at least left her a message before leaving. Bullet screen, such is the fate of a supporting character. Bullet screen, but at least she has stopped chasing trouble. Bullet screen, she should be able to live in peace from now on. Bullet screen, thinking about her living in the countryside, knowing nothing. Bullet screen. While the male lead enjoys luxury in the capital, I felt a surge of bitterness in my heart. I lifted my head high. I wiped away my tears. It is not that I did not know Zhou Bo Chen was still alive. And I was not crying because I missed him. I was just feeling sorry for myself. During my 3 months of marriage to Zhou Bo Chen, we never even shared a bed. Back when I shyly unbuttoned my clothes, he just could not stop coughing. So I simply assumed he had a weak constitution. The next day, I got up even earlier to work in the fields. I was single-mindedly focused on saving more money for my husband's treatment. He sold sweet cakes. Back then, I was illiterate. So I personally drew some lovely little patterns on the wrapping paper. I only hoped the children would find them appealing and buy more. So my husband could sell out early and come home sooner to properly nourish Zhou Bo Chen's body. I wanted to serve meat dishes usually reserved for the new year, when the village chief slaughtered a pig. I emptied half a year's savings to buy a large piece of fresh meat. But fresh meat does not last long. So I painstakingly cured it and hung it by the window. Every day, I would cut a small slice for Zhou Bo Chen. I could not bear to taste even a bit of it myself. Even if he put a piece into my bowl, I would always give it back to him. He never seemed to like it much, always complaining it was too rich or too greasy. Looking back now, the man had already tasted every delicacy in the world. The food I cherished like a treasure was just rotten leaves to him. After that, as our feelings supposedly warmed up, it felt natural for us to finally consummate our marriage. But every time Zhou Bo Chen crawled under the covers, he still looked reluctant. He complained about my cold hands and feet, and how I would toss and turn or grind my teeth in my sleep. I did not cry for him. I only wept for myself. When we got married, the lady next door told me a husband is a woman's entire world. But she never taught me what to do when that world can no longer be relied upon. I always knew deep down that Zhou Bo Chen did not love me. But he was my husband. I thought we just had to make do for a lifetime. That was how I always comforted myself. But it was not until the bullet comments appeared that I realized he was a divine dragon in the clouds. Not only did he not love me, but he utterly loathed and despised me. I am angry at my own stupidity. I sigh at my own misery. But I refuse to cry. Is Zhou Bochen even worth my tears? So what if he is a divine dragon in the clouds? He will never get to eat my secret cured meat again. He will never find another wife like me. Lin Muyi got irritated listening to me cry all night. Muttering complaints, he leaned over and pulled me directly into his chest. Bullet comment: all she knows is how to cry. Bullet comment: crying, always crying. What is there to weep about over a pathetic grave in the middle of the night? Bullet comment: crying again, fine, but crying in front of a grave late at night, give me a break. Bullet comment: seriously, she is still crying, facing a broken tombstone. What a mood killer. Bullet comment: crying at a grave at night, what is the point, this is so cringe. Bullet comment: I am stunned, these comments are hilarious, why even cry over that trash? Bullet comment: she must be heartbroken. But crying over a wretched grave, lol. Muyi, can't let it go, can you? Muyi, feeling sour inside, are not you? Muyi, forget the salted pork by the window. You are upset, are not you? I will buy more and keep you company. Muyi, let us go home. There is not much salted pork left. Tomorrow, I will buy some more and eat with you. Muyi, let us go home. The salted pork on the sill is almost gone. Let me be with you. Muyi, go home. I will buy more salted pork tomorrow. I will stay with you. I thought since he knew I did not want to go to the capital, he would not show his face again. But 2 nights later, Lin Muyi suddenly flipped down from the roof. Lin Musheng, beside me, also sat up abruptly. Both of them stared out the window with sharp, piercing eyes. I followed their gaze. But there was nothing there. Muyi, the god has arrived. So says Lin Muyi. Lin Musheng reached for my jacket by the bed and draped it over me. As he buttoned it for me, he whispered softly, whatever you see in a moment, do not be afraid. I stood there, dazed. The bullet comments were flying across the screen. Holy crap. How did the male lead pull a U-turn and storm back in the middle of the night? The things the supporting actress said that day. Didn't they all go straight into his ears? A wedding was just around the corner. So why did he run back here? This plot is getting really confusing. I put on my shoes and socks and stepped out of the room. The wooden gate was violently pushed open. The husband I thought was a dead man was staring intently at me. Xiao He. Have you been doing well lately? Lin Muyi glanced at me, and I fixed my gaze back on that man. I was very surprised that I could be this calm right now. This is quite good. You knew all along that I was not dead. When did you find out? Then why did not you come looking for me? I felt like the bullet comments were all stunned. Is this male lead losing his mind? The female lead did not look for him. Yet he ran over here on his own accord. As soon as Zhou Bochen got anxious, he started coughing and wheezing violently. On the outside, he wore an extremely expensive snow-white fox fur coat. Yet it was not even as pale as his face. You staged this fake death. Was not it precisely because you did not want me to find you? Zhou Bochen lifted his head. His eyes faintly rimmed with red. I just did not want to drag you into this mess. Once the situation is settled, I was going to come and get you. But I never expected you. Xiao He, I left these 2 men to protect you. Not to help me wear a green hat. Are you trying to irritate me to death? I gazed at him silently. Perhaps Zhou Bochen was truly furious. After all, no man can tolerate a lush green meadow on top of his head. I will find you a new manor immediately. As for these 2 pieces of trash behind you, I will take them back to the residence to re-establish the rules. Ha 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 ha. Grand Preceptor Zhou, you truly are a scholar. Even something like abandoning your wife can be sugar-coated so grandiosely by you. On the day you assigned us the task, did not you personally give the order that from then on, this lady is our only master? Now, what right do you have to take us back? Have you lost your minds? Have you forgotten whose shadow guards you are? Xiao He, Grand Preceptor Zhou really has a short memory for someone so noble. How can you go back on a decision that you made yourself? You are insane. This is my lawfully wedded wife. I only sent you to protect her safety, to keep her from being bullied by street thugs. Who gave you permission to crawl into her bed and act all high and mighty with me? You may be untouchable in the capital. But in this village, Grand Preceptor, you are merely the ex-husband Xiao he long considered dead. We are the ones who are her husbands now. Xiao He, stay away from those two thieves. I am taking you back to the residence. He is driven mad with rage. Now he is not even mentioning finding a separate courtyard to settle me in. He is going straight to bringing me back to his main residence. You two beasts who betrayed your master. I will deal with you sooner or later. Tonight, you must come with me. I am taking you back to the capital. The carriage is waiting at the village entrance. We are leaving right now. I sighed, feeling completely helpless. Bo Chen. Then what about your original marriage engagement? In the pitch-black night wind, Zhou Bo Chen's breathing grew much heavier. Who told you that? How did you find out? Once. I truly placed a divine halo over him. Zhou Bo Chen was the most refined and sophisticated man I had ever met. So unlike the crude, boorish men in our village. But now, he is like a stain on pure white fur. I have witnessed his ugliest side. Despicable and fake. Get lost. I would rather spend my whole life in Xinghu village than ever become someone's concubine. I refuse to share a husband with another woman. Zhou Bo Chen sighed. Seeing Lin Muyi about to kick him again, he hastily stopped in his tracks. I will come back. Xiao He, you are my wife. We have not finalized the divorce papers yet. After Zhou Bo Chen left, the atmosphere in this dilapidated house became stifling. Lin Musheng pulled my cold hand toward him and pressed it against his chest. Lin Muyi sat at the edge of the bed. That stinky man. He was supposed to be dead. Why did he have to crawl back? Xiao He, it is all because you are too eye-catching. I told you that day not to visit his grave. But you insisted on going. Now we are in a real mess. He literally crawled out of his grave to find you, did not he? Bullet chat, lol, this guy is talking nonsense. Bullet chat, seriously, what on earth is he blabbering about? Bullet chat, this guy's rambling is pure gold. Bullet chat, but how is a mere shadow guard so bold? Bullet chat, the way he just kicked Zhou Bo Chen. Bullet chat, I am shook, total savage energy. Bullet chat, that guy is the Grand Preceptor after all. Bullet chat, he was his former master. Bullet chat, is he not afraid of death, taking on his ex-boss like that? Bullet chat, no fear. He would literally die for this woman. Simp level, YYDS. Seeing these words, I suddenly snapped back to reality. I squeezed Lin Musheng's hand, making him let out a soft groan of pain. But I was only worried about what just happened. Isn't Zhou Bo Chen very powerful? How could you just kick him like that? He just said that he will be back. What if he has you all arrested? Lin Muyi gave a cold sneer. He is nothing but a mere Grand Preceptor. A spineless man about to marry into the Grand Princess's family. How many men can he actually command? Even if he brings his elite guards, so what? Lin Musheng frowned and stopped him. Go back to your post on the rafters. Xiao He needs to rest. Oh. I turned my head. It is not that I want to hide things from you. But the deeper you understand, the greater the risk. Don't worry, these matters have nothing to do with you. I will take good care of you. Why do I still have to sleep on the rafters tonight? Brother, are you pulling that trick again? You were the one who stayed with Xiao He last night. I buried my face in Lin Musheng's arms. Listening to his steady heartbeat, I fell into a peaceful sleep. This layer of fat is too thick. Scrape it cleaner. I sat there cross-legged, swinging my feet. I supervised Lin Muyi as he scraped the lard with a frustrated face. Xiao He, you are definitely doing this on purpose. Why did not you say you wanted to render lard when my brother was here? The moment he leaves, you order me to do this dirty work. I walked over and patted his shoulder. What a load of nonsense. This is a real treasure. In past years, I could hardly taste this twice in a whole year. How did it suddenly become filthy? It is so sticky and greasy. And the fishy stench is overwhelming. You are just playing favorites. You are torturing me on purpose. I leaned over and kissed his clean, fair face. Stop grumbling so much. Your spit is about to fly into the lard. Bullet chat Lin is promoted instantly. His cheeks gradually turned red. But his hands started moving even faster. Once I poured all the fatty meat into the pot. He finally washed his hands and leaned in close, kissing me back once more. I will keep rendering lard for you tomorrow. Where would we get that much pork for you to practice every day? Meat is very expensive nowadays. Lin Yi acted tough. Bullet chat simp king Lin Yi is at it again. I can buy 100 fat pigs and bring them back for you. I did not want to pay him any mind. I turned my head and asked directly. Is your brother's mission this time dangerous? He is just going back to report. After finishing the job, he should be back tomorrow. Then why did not you go back with him? Won't your master blame you? Lin Yi raised his head and stared at me. He gave a cold snort. Xiaohe, do not try to fish for information from me. Do you think I am stupid? I curled my lips. Fine, do not tell me then. Anyway, once we get into bed at night, when he is all dazed and giddy, I can get any information out of him. This blockhead is quite silly. When he is feeling good, he agrees to whatever I say. Since his older brother is not home, I plan to interrogate him thoroughly to find out his true background. But in the middle of the night, just as I was about to crawl into bed, Lin Yi suddenly flipped over on the bed. He leaped out of the blanket I had just warmed up. Why are you running off the bed? Stay right there. Whatever you do, do not come out. I was stunned for a moment. I saw him pull out 2 sharp swords from nowhere. With a light leap, he flew straight out through the window. I clenched my fists. What is wrong with him? The main door was clearly unlocked, but he just had to jump through the window. He got footprints all over my windowsill. The sound of clashing blades erupted in the courtyard. I carefully peeked out. There were about 17 or 18 assassins in black. Standing not far away was Zhou Bo Chen, his expression dark and gloomy. How dare you touch a woman who belongs to me, Zhou Bo Chen? He was consumed by rage, and began to cough violently again. Zhou Bo Chen had only brought a group of elite guards this time. They were locked in a fierce battle with Lin Yi. I recalled the words from the comments a few days ago. He would never mobilize such a force just for a woman. If he truly wanted to take you away, he could have just come to the door in broad daylight. Wait. Humph. He intentionally faked his death, and only came in the dead of night, because he is afraid of being noticed by others. Zhou Bo Chen's eyes were dead-locked on me, gazing past those dozen assassins. His eyes were filled with madness. Bullet chat, the comments are exploding. Bullet chat, what kind of plot twist is this? Bullet chat, is the male lead mentally ill? Bullet chat, why is he playing the forced love trope with a side character? The main plot has completely collapsed, has not it? Hang in there, little guard. Whatever you do, protect that handsome face. It is rare to find someone with such exquisite features. It would be such a waste if he got disfigured. It is easy to understand. It is like someone snatched away his exclusive toy. The supporting female lead was originally insignificant, but Zhou Bo Chen has been the prince's study partner since childhood. As an adult, he rose to the rank of Grand Preceptor. No one has ever dared to steal anything from his hands. Not to mention, she is officially his legal wife. It would be strange if he did not lose his temper. I looked away. I focused my gaze on Lin Muyi. My heart was hanging by a thread. Until only he and Zhou Bo Chen were left in the courtyard. I suddenly realized his words that day were not just empty arrogance. Zhou Bo Chen clearly did not expect this. He looked slightly panicked. He instinctively took 2 steps back. I am not killing you. Only because cleaning up the mess after your death is too much trouble. But I never want to see you again. Stop disturbing our lives over and over again. Get lost. If there is a next time, it won't be your hair falling to the ground. It will be your head. Zhou Bo Chen was trembling all over with rage. But looking at his elite guards lying defeated on the ground. These were all the trump cards he could muster. Now that they were all wiped out, he naturally did not dare to utter another word. Lin Muyi went to clear the bodies from the courtyard. I lay back down on the lounger. The comments section is exploding. Did the female lead just hit the jackpot with this mystery box? A double SR drop, oh my god. He took down 23 men single-handedly without a scratch. Muyi really has the skills to back it up. Now I am starting to wonder. Those 2 brothers lurked by Zhou Bo Chen's side for so long. What were they actually after? I am curious too. Because of this, I tossed and turned, unable to sleep. It was not until late at night that Lin Muyi finally entered the room. He lifted the silk quilt and crawled into bed. I frowned and turned around. Are you washed up and clean? I have washed. Not a single trace of the scent of blood is left. He leaned in closer, looking sulky. His tone was quite pitiful. Xiaohe. You ungrateful little thing. I have been doing hard labor all night. And you are still scolding me. I was speechless. After a few seconds of silence, Lin Muyi spoke up again. Xiaohe, we have to move out of Xinghua village. If my brother gets mad at me later, you have to help me explain. That group of people made the first move. If I had not fought back, you would have been snatched away. This old bodice is already worn out and drafty. I will buy you a new one, okay? Why do you insist on bringing it along? Don't you know anything about being a thrifty housewife? This can still be worn. If the two of us just move away like this. What if your brother comes back and can't find us? I left a message for him. He will be able to find us. I realized once again that Lin Muyi was not bragging. Because I moved from that drafty, broken shack into a spacious, bright, and brand new manor. You have swept it for the third time already. You were not this picky when we lived in the shack. Just how many times do you need to clean before you are satisfied? You have suffered. I got slightly delayed on the road and made you worry. Next time there is a mission, it is my turn. Damn it. Xiao He, if only you were not so passionate. Rush into my arms and welcome me. See if I do not choke you to death. Lin Shang remained silent for a moment. He turned his face away. There won't be a next time. I have already requested to resign from my master. The air suddenly went still. Lin Ye's expression turned solemn. He agreed. Lin Shang nodded slightly. There is only one last mission left. Neither of them spoke again. I poked Lin Shang's waist. What is going on? He chuckled and pulled me by the waist. It is nothing. It is just that shortly. Lin Yi and I might have to leave for a while. Xiao He. If neither of us comes back. Just like when you left Zhou Bochin before. Find yourself another man. My eyes began to redden. I know this line of work is always a brush with death. The two of them must have crawled out from piles of corpses. But after these few days of peaceful life, I truly started to see them as my family. Facing a life and death parting. I can't help but feel emotional. My eyes burned. I nodded desperately. Lin Yi put on his mask. Just like the very first time I saw him. The night grew deep. He was clad entirely in black. His expression was indistinguishable. This time, the usually talkative Lin Yi said nothing. He just reached out and wiped away my tears. Then he turned and leaped straight out of the window. Lin Shang straightened his collar. Then shook his head. And followed him out. Watching their figures vanish into the night. I could not hold back my tears anymore. They gushed out uncontrollably. That dummy, Lin Yi. The front door was wide open, yet he would not use it. He just had to jump out the window. Life goes on as usual. There used to be someone with a tough tongue but a soft heart who swept the courtyard for me. There was someone who cooked porridge for me with eyes full of tenderness. Now, I am left to do all these things alone. I sat in the courtyard, looking up at the sky. As day turned into night. Only the bullet chats accompanied me. Really looks like a lonely elder in an empty nest. Clearly she is more like a left-behind child. Please let this show be a hit. My tears were clearly welling up. But I burst out laughing like a snorting pig because of the comments. Those two guards in black would not really disappear, right? The supporting actress is so pitiful. Today is the big wedding day for the main leads. The supporting actress just lost 3 husbands at once. God, I am single and alone. I let out a long sigh. So, Zhou Bo-chen is getting married today. I was not sure how I felt. Anyway, it was not sadness. Instead, I felt quite dejected. The sky gradually darkened. I had to hurry inside to bring in the salted cured pork hanging by the window. To keep it from getting soaked by the rain. But suddenly, footsteps came from outside the door. The sound of hurried, frantic pacing. Clearly, there was more than one person. Full of joy. I pushed open the courtyard gate. Then, it felt like a bucket of ice water was poured over my head. He was wearing a bright red wedding robe. His hair was completely disheveled. Followed by 2 personal male servants. He stood before me, looking wretched and covered in dust. Xiao He, his eyes were full of pleasant surprise. I reached out to shut the main gate tight. His expression shifted instantly. Snapping back to his senses, he barged inside. Behind him, 2 or 3 bodyguards dressed in black suddenly emerged from nowhere. Zhou Bo-chen froze. When he saw the look of utter disappointment on my face, he flew into a rage on the spot. Don't tell me you were not waiting for me. Weren't you longing for my return? Is it possible? Is it possible you were not waiting or longing for me at all? Were you really not waiting for me? Not even a little bit of longing. Could it be? Could it be you were not looking forward to our reunion? I certainly was not afraid. Zhou Bo-chen grew even more furious. Do you have any idea the price I paid for you? I did something so reckless it could cost me my head. Running all the way here from my own wedding. What kind of attitude is this? Who asked you to ditch your wedding? Whether you lose your head or not is none of my business. Bullet chat. The viewers are stunned too. Bullet chat. OMG, the male lead actually became a runaway groom. Bullet chat. What kind of mess is this? Bullet chat. I actually find the male lead a bit annoying now. Zhou Bochen was exasperated. Didn't you tell me yourself? You said you would rather die than share a husband with another woman. Because of those words, I abandoned my career and everything else. I risked execution just for that one sentence from you. I put my life on the line because of what you said. I thought your mind was filled with it. Have you forgotten it already? Hurry up and come with me. Xiaohe, let us run away. We will go back to Xinghua village, or someplace just like it. I won't be an official anymore. I will go back to selling sweets. I have been craving your salted cured pork. I missed you. I truly, deeply missed you. Qin Xiaohe, please come with me. We will run far, far away. You are my wife. On our wedding night, we bowed before the heavens together. We made a vow. You said you would spend your whole life. Spending your whole life following your husband. My first husband died a long time ago. You were not longing for me at all. Bullet chat. Sad for the CP. Were you longing for those two spies from you state instead? Ha ha ha. Oh, Qin Xiaohe, Qin Xiaohe. You do not even know which country they are from. Yet you foolishly gave yourself to them. Why are you always so stupid? Stop waiting for them. They kicked the bucket 3 days ago. They lurked around me for so long. Just to assassinate the crown prince. I sent them to protect you. And them staying with you was only to wait for another chance to strike. Did you really think someone would actually cherish you? A mere village peasant woman. My heart felt as if someone was squeezing it tight. In an instant, tears of pure agony fell. Seeing my tears, Zhou Bochen was stunned at first. But then he gritted his teeth even harder. Go ahead and cry. In this world, only I truly care for you. Even their names were completely made up, Xiaohe. They are finished. I only faked my death. But they are dead for good. Now, come with me. He approached me step by step. I was in so much pain that I did not even have the strength to retreat. Those heartwarming reminders. Those tender whispers. And the sweet nothings they murmured in my ear at midnight. At this second, along with the news of their death, they turned into the sharpest daggers, ripping my heart wide open. The pain was so intense I felt I would faint at any moment. But at the very moment Zhou Bochen's hand gripped my arm, the sound of a sharp blade being unsheathed rang in my ears. Immediately after, his agonized wail, mingled with Lin Muge's roguish voice, echoed beside me. Didn't I tell you before? Don't touch Xiaohe. Touch her again, and I will chop your hand off. My brain completely short-circuited. The bullet comments also exploded. OMG. My mind is literally blown. What is going on? Didn't they say he was dead? I even cried my eyes out. Give me back my tears. Shang pulled out a handkerchief. He wiped the bloodstains off my face. He shot a slightly reproachful look at his younger brother. You are scaring her. Zhou Bochen clutched his hand, his face turning pale as a sheet. Weren't you dead? Lin Muyi crouched down, staring at him with a smirk. I really have to thank you, Grand Preceptor Zhou, for handing us such a brilliant idea. Otherwise, with my simple mind, I would not have thought of faking death to settle this mess. Plus your little stunt of running away from the wedding. Absolute perfection. At first, my brother and I were calculating how to make our move. Who knew the scene would turn into such a chaotic mess? Sabotaging it was a walk in the park. Your precious disciple went through so much trouble to finally reclaim the crown prince's position. But with one snap, he lost it just like that. And it is all because of you. Zhou Bochen's face instantly turned ashen. Lin Musheng held my waist and led me toward the door. Xiaohe. We need to evacuate first. This place is not safe. The tenderness in his eyes was overflowing. I will take you to a place where no one can find you. And be your protector for the rest of my life. I looked back at Zhou Bochen, who was slumped on the ground. Shang's tone suddenly turned cold. He can't run away now. The crown prince is finished. Within 3 days, his entire faction will be wiped out by the second prince. To the victors go the spoils. Since Zhou Bochen was the crown prince's confidant, there is no need to say more about his fate. I was lifted onto the horse. My full name is Lin Musheng. My brother is Lin Muyi. We never intended to use you. It just so happened that when we first infiltrated the preceptor's manor, he was already being demoted. Then we were assigned to watch over you. It really was a stroke of fate. Is this your first time riding? Are you tired? I am sorry. Time is tight. So I did not have time to arrange a carriage. When we get back to you state. I will get you the softest sedan chair possible, okay? I nodded shyly. Lin Muyi grumbled under his breath. Why do you get to hold Xiaohe? While I have to carry this slab of salted cured pork. The bullet comments were laughing like crazy. Wasn't it you who insisted on bringing it along? This bodyguard is built different, FR. Moving house and he leaves everything behind. But insists on taking the salted pork. I laughed secretly. Even a piece of greasy cured meat, in the eyes of those who cherish you, is a treasure that cannot be left behind.